Today, we'll be talking about my top 10 favorite NASCAR Cup Series drivers heading into the 2022 NASCAR Cup Series season. What's going on, guys? It's Daniel, and welcome back to our video. Starting off in the number 10 position, we have the driver of the 45 for 2311 Racing, and that is Kurt Busch. I'll be honest here. I used to not be a big fan of Kurt Busch, especially when I became a big fan of the sport. And the reason is because of his lack of maturity and how bad he was on the radio, how big of a hothead he was. But really, my opinion on Kurt Busch changed really over the last probably 7-8 years. And really, it started when he became a driver for Stewart-Haas Racing. Since I was a big fan of Tony Stewart and he owned Stewart-Haas Racing, I really became a fan of drivers who worked at Stewart-Haas Racing. And that also included another driver, Kevin Harvick. But for another thing that really helped him was the situation that happened 2014 and 2015. And also what I realized is Kurt Busch, really when he went over to Stewart-Haas Racing, he really matured as a driver in the NASCAR Cup Series. And it really showed to me that he's one of the best drivers and to me one of the most underrated drivers. And of course, his unfortunate issues on the track and his temper and stuff really unfortunately affected him. But one thing you cannot disrespect is he's a Cup Series champion, and over the years I've grown to more and more like Kurt Busch. And Kurt Busch has went from a driver that a lot of people didn't like to a driver that a lot of people like, and that's kind of the way it went for me too. Kurt has become a fan favorite driver, and I'm also a major fan of Kurt Busch at the same time as well. And like I said, I've been a big fan of Kurt Busch really for the last few years now. He's overachieved in equipment that he's been, and I'm really excited to see what he can do in 2022 for 40 to 45 for 2311 racing. I'm really excited to see what he can do in 2022. My ninth favorite driver heading into 2022 NASCAR Cup Series season is the driver of the 20 car for Joe Gibbs Racing, Christopher Bell. I like a lot of dirt guys, and Christopher Bell is one of those guys. Christopher Bell is a driver I've been a really big fan of since 2015 when he made it, I believe, his second start for the team at Eldora when he won that truck race against Bobby Pierce. That race is really, really cool to watch. It really came down most of the time between Bobby Pierce and Christopher Bell. But what I realized is Christopher Bell is a generational talent. Christopher Bell, and I like a lot of those guys, and while, yes, he does not have the biggest personality, Christopher Bell is a very extremely talented driver. Another thing about Christopher Bell I really, really like, and it's something that Brad Keselowski does, he has a lot of respect for reporters in the industry, basically calls a lot of reporters by name. Brad is the best at this for sure, but Christopher Bell is really, really good with the media and not for someone who is going to be always outspoken against drivers, unless your name is Kyle Larson, because he had issues with Kyle Larson last year. But one thing Christopher Bell do is he can back it up at the track. And he was one of my favorite of the big three drivers, especially in Xfinity Series when he dominated. I didn't hate any of the big three, but I love when those guys dominate, especially since they're regulars in this series. And Christopher Bell is such a classy driver and such a really, really cool driver that I think he could have a big breakout year in 2022. So Christopher Bell I really, really like a lot, and he's my ninth favorite driver heading into 2022. My eighth favorite driver heading into 2022 is the driver of the 8 car for Richard Childress Racing, Tyler Reddick. Tyler Reddick is one of the most underrated drivers in the NASCAR Cup Series, and I've been a big fan of Tyler Reddick for many, many years, really since 2015 and 2016 when he drove for Brad Keselowski Racing in the Camping World Truck Series. The only time I really was not happy with Tyler Reddick is more just being pissed off with the point system when he won the Xfinity Series championship. I like Tyler Reddick even back in 2018, but Tyler Reddick did not really deserve that championship in the Xfinity Series in 2018. But he came back in 2019 and proved everybody wrong and became one of the best drivers and won the championship in the Xfinity Series in 2019. And he's been someone I think that's been really, really aggressive and also has a pretty strong personality as well, a very underrated personality, and someone that I have a lot of respect for, and I think a very, very talented driver. And I don't know if I mentioned this, but I think he's someone that this year could really gel with the next-gen car, and I do think that personality could come out for him as well this year. So I think Tyler Reddick is going to have a pretty good year this year. I like Reddick a lot. I love his personality. He's a great driver for the series. I think of anybody in this series, he's probably the most likely to have a big year in the Cup Series this year. I think he's got a good chance to do it. I think Reddick could have a big breakout year in 2022. He's number 8 on my list. My 7th favorite driver heading into the 2022 NASCAR Cup Series season is a driver of the number 24 for Hendrick Motorsports, William Byron. William Byron I've been a big fan of since 2016. I didn't watch basically the K&N East Series and K&N West Series when he won the championships there in 2015. But I've been a big fan of William Byron really since 2016. And I was very pissed and very angry when he lost the championship he did in 2016 because he dominated and deserved that championship in 2016. Unfortunately, because of the way the system was back in 2016, he unfortunately, because of an engine failing with around 15 to go, he lost the championship hunt and basically got a bittersweet win at Homestead the next week. He won the race, but didn't win the championship. But I have also, like I said, I like a lot of Hendrick drivers too. And William Byron, I know that his rookie year did not go very, very well, but he's a driver that I think is also improved in the NASCAR Cup Series each and every year. And I think he is a driver that's going to have a big breakout year this year. I think he's going to get multiple wins. I think minimum he gets 2 wins this year with the potential of a 3 to 4 win season. I think he is a driver that is going to do very, very well. He doesn't have the greatest personality. That's something that he probably can work on. But when it comes to talent and stuff, that's really all that matters to me is how talented you are as a race car driver. And William Byron is a generational talent. I think he's someone that's going to do very, very well. And I'm really excited to see what he can do in 2022 in the Cup Series. I think he could have a great year. My 6th favorite driver heading into 2022 NASCAR Cup Series season is a driver of the 48 for Hendrick Motorsports, Alex Bowman. I have been an Alex Bowman fan for a pretty long time. I wasn't originally a major Alex Bowman fan back when he drove for, I think, RAB Racing in 2013, and when he drove for some of those smaller teams in 2014 and 2015. But really what made me an Alex Bowman fan is that Phoenix race in 2016, when he not only won the pole, but he went on to have probably the dominant best car in that race, and probably should have won it had not some issues happened in that race. I think he had a speeding penalty or got behind on the adjustments, and the team unfortunately kind of fell behind. But another thing is Alex Bowman has really impressed me at Hendrick Motorsports. I've been wanting to see him have a multi-win season. He finally delivered on that in 2021, scoring 4 victories. But Alex Bowman has something that we need to see is I want to see him be a little more consistent this year. That being said, another big thing about Alex Bowman that I really, really like, he's someone that has a very underrated personality. We've seen him basically be able to say things, and very few people talk. People say he has a very dry sense of humor and a dry personality. He actually has a really, really great personality, and someone that I think that personality can do very, very well. But he can back up that personality at the same time as well. And I think that Alex Bowman in 2022 could have a big year as well in the Cup Series. And I like Alex Bowman a lot. I like what he's doing in the Cup Series right now. And man, I'm excited to see what he can provide for 2022. And I believe this will be his 5th year, full-time year at Hendrick Motorsports. So I'm excited to see what he can do, and I'm really excited to see for 2022. My 5th favorite driver heading into 2022 NASCAR Cup Series season is the driver of the 23 for 2311 Racing, Bubba Wallace. Bubba Wallace is someone I've had a lot of respect for really since around 2012 and 2013. Bubba Wallace has been a big fan since his KBM days. Of course, the first African-American driver to win a Camping World Truck Series. I think in the history of that series, Bill Lesser came close to winning a Truck Series race back in the day. He was the first African-American driver to win a Truck Series race in 2013. And one thing I really like about Bubba is he wears his heart on his sleeve. It has a lot of emotion. Sometimes that emotion can get the best of him, but Bubba Wallace is someone that is not afraid to speak his mind. And very few drivers in the Cup Series, especially nowadays, are very afraid to speak their mind. Bubba Wallace is not one of those drivers. And I also like Bubba Wallace a lot because of the way he talks sometimes as well. And just another thing about him, he's a guy that's really, really great. I don't think that he's a top, like the best driver in the Cup Series. I think he's a serviceable driver, but I really like 2311 Racing too. And Bubba Wallace, someone I just think is awesome. Yeah, when he won that Cup Series race at Talladega in October, I was super pumped and super excited to see that because he made history for the first time, became only the 2nd African-American driver to win a NASCAR Cup Series race. And that was something that was not only incredible, but also special at the same time as well. And I think Bubba Wallace is someone that is going to win more races in his Cup Series career and could at least maybe get 1 to 2 victories this year. So I've liked Bubba Wallace for a very, very long time. I think he's a really, really great driver, and I think that he could have a pretty big year this year. And having Kurt Busch come on to work with him this year, I think could be a big asset. And I've liked Bubba Wallace, and I know that emotions can sometimes get the best of him, but Bubba Wallace is someone I think that could have a big year in the Cup Series in 2022. My 4th favorite driver heading into the Cup Series in 2022 is a driver of the 12th car for Team Penske, Ryan Blaney. Ryan Blaney, like Bubba Wallace, someone I've been a really big fan of really since the beginning of his career. He is someone that is really, really good. I don't think he's absolutely like a generational talent, but I think that Ryan Blaney is a very, very good driver. I say he's just below that generational talent status. He did have his big breakout year in the Cup Series in 2021, scoring 3 victories, and was very, very consistent and became the leader of the team. Another reason I don't really like Ryan Blaney is because Ryan Blaney has a really, really good personality. He's kind of like a geek, and basically is for everybody, and he's someone also who's kind of involved in a YouTube game, respects a lot of the NASCAR YouTubers as well, which is something that's going to get a lot of respect from a lot of the people. But Ryan Blaney is really, really good with the people, and a lot of people like him, including myself, just because the way he acts, the way he conducts himself. He's very, very chill, but at the same time is calm, cool, collective, and I think that Ryan Blaney is someone that could, like I said, do great things in 2022 again and continue being the leader of this team. But he's got a really great sense of humor, a really great personality. When he and Bubba are together and they do stuff together, it's like magic. And when he's with Dylan Smith, there's always magic with those guys together as well. So Ryan Blaney is someone I really, really like as a driver and a personality, and I think that he's someone who will be fun to watch this year. My third favorite driver heading into 2022 NASCAR Cup Series season is a driver of the number 19 for Joe Gibbs Racing, Martin Truex Jr. This will probably come as a shock to most of you, but I've been a Martin Truex Jr. fan really for a long time. I've been a Martin Truex Jr. fan really, I think, since around 2011 and 2012, and I was getting frustrated back then seeing him not being able to close out the deal and win these races. When he broke through in 2013 and won that race at Sonoma, I was so happy for Martin because Martin's a very underrated driver back in 2013. And I'll talk about the Richmond incident. That Richmond incident, he should have not gotten screwed over. He got screwed over because they tried to help him out, and the team and Clint Boyer should have been out of the playoff run instead of Martin Truex Jr. for that incident in the debacle because he was one of the people that was involved in that debacle. But in 2015, when he won that Cup Series race at Pocono, I was super pumped up. When he won in 2016 the Charlotte race at Coxsackie, that emotional victory, I was really, really excited for him. And I know sometimes Martin Truex Jr. can be a little bit miney. There's definitely a little bit of criticism that he can put toward Martin Truex Jr., but he can back it up. And when he won the Cup Series championship in 2017 as the best driver all year, I was super pumped up. I was screaming, jumping up for joy because I was super excited about Martin Truex Jr. picking up his first ever championship after dominating that year and after getting completely screwed in 2016 from running a championship due to the playoff format. I'm super, really, really like Martin Truex Jr. I think he's someone that is a great driver for the sport. A driver I think it might unfortunately fall off this year, but he's got a great personality, someone that I really, really like a lot. My second favorite driver and runner-up driver is a driver of the number 9 car for Hendrick Motorsports, Chase Elliott. Chase Elliott actually was my favorite driver after 2020, but another driver we'll talk about here in a second has become my favorite driver. But Chase Elliott is someone that I have a lot of respect for, and I will admit that Chase Elliott does not have the greatest personality, and I will admit that Chase Elliott's fan base can sometimes be extremely toxic. That being said, though, I really like Chase Elliott a lot. My dad's also a big fan of Chase Elliott because my dad was a Bill Elliott fan when he was a fan of NASCAR back in the 1980s, and my dad's still somewhat a fan of NASCAR. But Chase Elliott is a generational talent. Chase Elliott is a guy that can get behind the wheel, do really, really well at road courses, and seems like someone that even though he's very, very quiet, can really, really show stuff you never see. He scared Kevin Harvick, for crying out loud, someone who never got a tinny. He scared Kevin Harvick on the racetrack, but another thing about Chase Elliott, he's really, really great at road courses. He's great with his fans. He's got a great personality, and again, I really like Chase Elliott a lot, what he's doing as a Cup Series driver, and I think he'll be a multi-Cup Series champion, and like I said, I know his personality can be better, but he's also, one thing about Chase Elliott, he's someone that's involved on the online fan base as well. He's got a TikTok account. He's been associated with guys like Nick Merckx, I believe, and Nick at 30, and I think other people he's been associated with in the past, but aside from PK, I think he's been associated with him in the past as well, but Chase Elliott is someone that is really, really great for the sport and has a pretty good personality for the sport. I'm excited to see what he can do again in 2022. And my number one and my favorite driver heading into 2022 NASCAR Cup Series Championship is the driver of the 5 and defending NASCAR Cup Series champion, Kyle Larson. Kyle Larson has generally been my favorite driver here for the last 10 years. I became a Kyle Larson fan back in 2012, watching that Homestead race where he dominated with Turner Scott. I was like, who is this kid? This kid is so, so good. And then I look at it, it's like, Kyle Larson, I've never heard of this guy. He should have won that race in 2012, but he got into an issues late with Ty Dillon. And then I saw the 2014 season where he was doing incredible with Chip Ganassi racing as a rookie. He just missed the playoffs here, but he was so impressive and the best driver to not make the playoffs in that respective season. He fell back off in 2015, and then in 2016 when he won that race in Michigan in the weekend where we had 3 first-time winners in respective series, I was super excited and super pumped for him. And then when he got 4 wins at 2017 and lost the championship, I was so pissed, but I was also excited because he won races. And then I was pissed off in 2018 at Darlington when he should have won the Southern 500 and didn't win that. Same with Bristol in 2018 when he didn't win that. Then watching race in 2019 where he came back to victory at Dover. Should have won Chicago, but Alex Bowman was a little bit better that day. And then in 2021, and then 2021, Kyle Larson, after his issues last year, 2020, where I wasn't happy with him after the incident, he comes back at 2021 and wins 10 races. I was super pumped every single time he won a race. And when he won a championship, I nearly cried that day. I was super excited to see Kyle Larson go out there and win races. Kyle Larson, I know he's been a generational star, and Kyle Larson is just one of the best drivers in America right now. I would argue say probably the best driver, probably top 2 or 3 drivers in the United States right now. He can get in any car and go out there and win races, and that's one thing about Kyle Larson that I have a ton of respect for. And I think heading 2022, I think we're really going to see something magical. And I think people that don't like Kyle Larson need to be prepared to get used to it. I think a Kyle Larson is someone that's going to be fun for many, many years. And now I'll talk about my honorable mentions of drivers who just missed the list. First one, Kyle Busch. Kyle Busch actually just barely missed this list. Kyle Busch is someone that I would not have a couple years ago put on this list. But one thing I really like about Kyle Busch is Kyle Busch is a really, really good race car driver. He gets behind the wheel of anything, and he can win in NASCAR. He's won Truck Series races, won an Xfinity Series championship, and a Cup Series championship. And I used to not be a big fan of him because of his personality. But one thing about Kyle Busch is that he's something I can really, really get rid of the personality and not be mad about his personality sometimes when it comes to his driving abilities. He's got incredible driving abilities, and I like him a lot. Another driver that barely missed the list is Brad Keselowski. Brad Keselowski, I used to also not be a big fan of because I was a Carl Edwards fan, and the 2010 debacles when they had their issues in 2010. But over the years, I've gladly respected Brad Keselowski, and like I mentioned, Christopher Bell, Brad Keselowski is really, really great with the media. So that's another reason I really like Brad Keselowski, but he barely, and I mean barely, just missed the list as well. Another driver that just barely missed the list is Ross Chastain. Ross Chastain, I've liked his humble story, coming from basically humble beginnings and coming up through the ranks and being a driver in the series. He's a driver that I think has done very, very well, has been very, very exciting to watch, and someone that I think could be surprising at track out here, and it's got a great personality. Every time he wins a race, he gets super, super excited. Another driver that's not a full-time driver that will be racing the Cup Series part-time, AJ Allmendinger. AJ Allmendinger is someone I'm going to say. I like AJ a lot. AJ's going to be running part-time this year. He's going to be racing in the Busch Clash year. Every time AJ wins a race, he gets super pumped and super excited because you never know when he's going to stop racing. But I really like AJ a lot, and he's a driver that I absolutely respect as well as a Cup Series driver. So anyway, that is my official top 10 favorite NASCAR drivers heading into 2022 season. I want to thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe to the channel. Sean to be notified when a video does go live on my channel. Follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, and support me on Patreon as well. Let's go some below for that, and comment your thoughts on today's video. Let me know your top 10 drivers that you really are excited for, and let me know your top 10 favorite drivers heading into 2022. Let me know those in the comments below. Tomorrow, we're going to have a fully updated 2022 NASCAR Cup Series lineup video, as we're only going to be 2 weeks away from the season starting. Pretty much everything is going to be finalized at this point, and a lot of confirmations are coming very, very soon. The Cup Series is nearly finalized. But anyway, like I said, I want to thank you guys for watching today's video, and I'll see you guys next time for some more great and awesome NASCAR and other motorsports content on the channel like this. Take care, everybody.